So today we are talking about the link between the science of what's going on with EFT and the actual healing process in the body. Now, decades ago, a lot of the research was done in such a way that maybe, had some little bit of ethics around it. As of today, I know much of the work that was starting to be done on the mind body stuff and the relationship between the emotions and the thoughts that were going on and what was happening in people's bodies. And they started a lot of studies. Sadly, that we do have wars, but the upside is that they get to use this time in and around wars and trauma and that sort of adversity to be able to do some testing or to be able to do some level of um, research into what people have going on. It's terrible, terrible that we have these, but the fact that some research comes out of them can only be a positive thing in terms of the field. So when you look at the history of where EFT came from and then the thought field therapy that Gary Craig used as the basis for EFT, and then of course developed it into this, really cool tool that can not only be at the end of your own little fingertips, but it's the fact that you can use it yourself. You don't need me as a practitioner in the room. You don't need to have anyone else around. You can do it in the privacy of your own home or wherever you choose to do, which is the beauty of it. It's probably one of the few modalities that you actually can do yourself really easy, simply, and wherever you are. And you can even do it very, very subtly. You can tap on your fingers. No one needs sees. You can tap on this spot here on the back of your hand. Tap on the side of your hand. There are so many different places you can tap that are really subtle that no one's really going to pay any attention to. Versus sitting in traffic doing this, that I often do. I tap all over my face in traffic, but sometimes I'll just sit there and do this as well when I'm stopped at lights or if things are a bit hectic around me. So let's talk about the science. So the science behind EFT is just growing exponentially. There is so much research being done here, even in Australia. I know there's lots done in the States, lots done in the UK. There's been some reports out of the Middle East that they've done some work with nurses. They've done some work with childbirth, women in childbirth, and how using EFT has helped them. There is a fabulous woman up in Queensland who works at Bond University who is able to have access to MRI machines and all sorts of research machines. So she runs a whole lot of different studies and in EFT space up there that she's actually able to produce results because there's this medical overlay, this medical imaging and the scanning and being able to look at brain activity and stuff like that and be able to take measurable responses and things, get measurable results from the work that they're actually doing. It's fascinating work. So the body of evidence for EFT and the efficacy of EFT is continuing to grow weekly. Those of us in the know knows that it works. Now, if any of you have ever picked up a child, since the beginning of time, we put them on our backs and we pat them. We tap them or we pat them, whichever. I don't care which word you use, but you're still doing the same thing. It is this rhythmic tapping on the body that we do with children. We do it with our babies. We do it with people we love. We meet them and we give them a little bit of a tap, a little bit of a pat. What we're doing is instinctively as humans, we know that this rhythmic tapping on the body actually calms the body down. It sends signals back to the brain. I am safe. I'm okay. I'm in a space where I can relax. All right, that's what we're doing. So the meridians run down the back of our bodies. So there's stuff on the front, stuff on the back. They run up and down under the bottom because that's the other one. We tap our babies on the bottom. So wherever we're tapping them, we are just helping to release what's going on for them. So the science behind that is really starting to mount. We know that EFT calms this fight or flight response in the brain. So whenever we have an upsetting thought, an upsetting memory, gosh, for me, it's just got to be a loud noise, a car goes noise, a beep, something. It is loud noises for me is like and I know that that's my fight or flight is triggered. What I don't do is sit in any chronic state of that. So I'm not in a space of hypervigilance. I'm not in a space of feeling anxious all the time. I'm not in a space of feeling anything on an ongoing and recurring basis. I'm fairly relaxed most of the time, fairly able to self-regulate most of the time. Every now and again, something trips me up, but as a general rule, I'm able to self-regulate. And one of my tools for self-regulation is always going to be doing some tapping. things bug me and I can be sitting here reading and I'm doing this. This is really my go-to spot. While I teach my people this is it for me. Is this space here, and it's done with it. I can feel the vibrations through my body as I tap through things that are bugging me, things that are bothering me, things that have upset me. I know I can regulate myself through that. So the science that sits behind that is, it is sending messages back to my brain, anything that's come up that's been something from my past. Because remember, right now, generally speaking, I know there can be a loud noise or I know there could be something that happens, but think of it in terms of a thought. A thought runs through your head right now. In this moment, that thought can't hurt you. You're not in the situation you're remembering. You're not in the space that you're remembering. You're in something different. You're in the now. But a thought pops into your head. Instantly, your fight or flight activates. Instantly, that you've got this reaction in your body. What we want to do with EFT is we want to work on those thoughts. If you think of it that way, work on the thoughts so that there isn't that boom activation in your energy circuitry that sends your brain back to its little filing system to go, oh, that feels scary. What does this remind us of? What does this look like? What is this also like? And that's what our brains do. So in the moment, things aren't necessarily upsetting because it's a thought that comes through, but it's what your brain goes back to and uses as the reference point for the thing that's upsetting you now. Same as future-based stuff. If you're worried about stuff off into the future, you're worried about things that haven't happened, but it's from a point in the past where you've got a memory box that says, yeah, but this will happen and this will happen and this will happen. Or if I don't think about this, this could go on, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. But your brain has to have a memory of what it's got that it's afraid of. Was I here the other day? The two things that we're afraid of is falling, physically falling. We have a fear of falling and we have a fear of loud noises. They are the only two fears that we came into the world with, every single one of us. Fear of falling and fear of loud noises. They're the only two. Everything else is learned. It is from an event. It's from an impact. It's from something environmental. It's from something that happened to you or around you. Because if it's not those two, it has to be learned. And the way to recognize that also is, if I'm afraid of it and you're not, where did I get it from? How come you're not afraid of it if I'm afraid of it? Because it's all learned. It's experiential stuff. So the science behind it is growing. You can go and do a whole lot of Google, a whole lot of research on if you love the science and the techie stuff. I have clinical EFT handbooks. They are amazing, and they do document the research that's gone on, and they do document the learnings that they've found or the people they've worked with and what the outcomes will be. It documents a whole bunch of that stuff, and they're amazing. But the main thing for you to remember is doing the work on you on a consistent basis is what's going to get you the transformation. If you just tap once on one thing and go, oh, well, that's it, I'm done, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to take you anywhere. It's not going to necessarily be meaningful. Not that you need a practice, and then you will start to see the shifts. Then you will start to see the power of EFT in clearing the stuff that you've got going on versus I just feel a little bit upset right now, or I'm a bit trigger activated right now, and I can do this right now. All right, so I am going to leave you here. It has been beautiful to be back with you once again. We will spend some time together. We have Advanced Practitioner of EFT training is open for enrollment. If you would like to come in and jump in with everyone else in the collective group, please do so over the next week or so. There are some amazing bonuses that we have included. It's just an amazing course. It is transformational in itself. It's not just about the clients you work with. The transformation, the personal transformation for you will be phenomenal. And we know this because we see it all the time in the people who have already enrolled and have gone through our course. Now, if the advanced is not for you, because you can drop straight into it, we don't make you do old level 1 and then old level 2 before you come into 3. We bring you in 3, we put you into the container of 3, and we bring you all the way through 1, 2, and 3 all together. That's why we give you up to 12 months to do it. So come along with us, join in, come and be part of this next generation of healers, this next generation of modality therapists. Come and join us and come be the next wave of people who help other people. I'm going to miss you. Much love. Any questions, any comments, please pop them below the video. Send us a direct message. Leslie and I would love to connect with you, and I will see you all again next week.